Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Sunrise from Channels Television. Now, there's this big town hall meeting that is being planned for next week, Sunday, the 19th of January. And it's been planned by Unuedo Renaissance, and it'll be with the governor. It's a meeting with the Edo State governor, and it's scheduled to hold next week, Sunday, the 19th of January. So, why this town hall meeting at all? Well, we have two people here who are going to tell us why this meeting is holding and what exactly they're going to be discussing with the governor when he comes to town. We have the Vice President of Unuedo Renaissance, Mr. Nuhu Yakubu.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
And we have the General Secretary, Dr. Seli Okobu. Good morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you for coming. Yes, so you are bringing the governor to Lagos.
Yes, we're bringing the governor to Lagos.
Oh dear. Is he in trouble?
No, he's not in trouble.
Okay.
Actually, we're bringing him to Lagos. First of all, thank you for having us. We have the Unuedo Renaissance. It's an association of Edo professionals, so to speak. So it's an association that's been in existence for over 20 years plus. It has metamorphosed into the Unuedo Renaissance as we have it today. In the past, it has had different names, okay? Mm-hmm. It has membership cutting across members of Edo State people, not only in Edo State, but in diaspora as well. It has professionals across all fields of endeavor. All right, so we are proud and happy to have been able to sustain such an association over the years. Okay. Yes, we are inviting the Edo State Governor to Lagos to speak to Edo people in Lagos. The peoples of Edo State resident in Lagos, we want him to come and speak to them to make them understand what he's been doing in the past few years that he's been in office and what his vision is for the state going forward. Ordinarily, before now, what we used to do was to take these meetings to the previous governors. We used to meet them as professionals, starting from with Mr. Lucky Benedion, or Chief Lucky Benedion, Professor Osumbo, Comrade Oshomole. We used to meet them, but this time around we thought we should provide an enabling environment for not just the elite professionals to speak to these leaders, but for also the common man, the common Edo person, to be able to ask questions directly. All right, so that's the reason why we are now hosting the governor to a bigger meeting with Edo people in Lagos, which we have happily termed a town hall meeting, so to speak.
Yeah, so Sally, you have been having these engagements with governors over time. What kind of impact have these engagements had on policy formation, for instance, and other things concerning Edo State?
Of course, we've been dialoguing with the government, and we've had a series of meetings. And some of the result of, let's not forget that the present governor is a member of Unuedo, and so it was easy for us to have that kind of rapport with him. And so some of the things that you are seeing, I mean, the initiatives are his at the end of the day, but I don't want to say that the input that we are putting, it's quite glaring. But there's a point I needed to refer back to what the VP was saying. You see, when we started the build-up to this, someone called me from a place called Efeko. The place is an island, and it's just by me there in Ubiaja. Incidentally, I don't even know that island. And that is what comes up with things like this. Because we are all in Lagos, we don't know. And this, the person who brought this up is actually an expert in polytechnology in University of Njaba Technology. And so when we bring the governor to Lagos and have this kind of discussion, what we are expecting is that some of those issues will be thrown up in which we can dialogue with the governor and expect people to interact with the governor and ask very poignant and straightforward questions to him so that the governor can respond to them.
Why did you decide to bring him to Lagos?
Because Lagos has a lot of Edo people, basically. So, and there are a lot of Edo people in Lagos who are equally very interested in the affairs of Edo State. And some of them have to even travel to Edo State because of their love for the state to vote, cast their votes in Edo State.
No, I asked that because you could have gone to any other town. You could have gone to Abuja.
Oh, well,
any other
we
part.
tend to do the same thing. So it's now a new program, a new initiative of UNOEDO to now begin to host our state governor in major cities across the country where we believe we have a lot of Edo residents. Lagos,
Population of Edo
Kano,
people.
Port Harcourt, Ibadan. You know, places where we believe that we have a lot of Edo people. We should be able to get the governor to go meet them there rather than us moving all these people to Edo State to engage. Okay. It is cheaper. It is more cost effective for us to get the governor to come over to meet them and then speak with them and interact with them.
And my colleague asked you the question how much this has impacted on governance in the state. You talked about the fact that from time all of them you met, you've seen some impact, but is it measurable? Is it something that must be?
Yes. I tell you something, that there was a time, for example, when, I think it was the time of Lucky Benedict, I think, when there was a question about whether to privatize or not to privatize, commercialize or not to commercialize, or dispose or not to dispose, whether sell or not to sell some of the assets of Edo State. And the Edo Renaissance involvement was critical to that decision that was finally taken by government. So our impact has been felt over the years. The good news is that successive governments of Edo State, governors of Edo State, have been lending us listening ears. All right. Even with Shomole, we had cause to engage a number of times, and he gave us listening ears. So we don't think it should be otherwise, equally with this government, with this current governor. But this time around, we're saying let this governor or successive governments starting from now begin to engage with a larger community rather than just a team of professionals representing a larger group, okay? Who knows? Sometimes the professor may not really be the best mind in a certain subject area. Or there are subject areas that are hidden, completely swept under the carpet, that are very germane, but because nobody has spoken to them, or the guy or the man or woman who could have been able to speak to those issues doesn't have the right garments to wear. That's why he's not invited to the government house. But this time around, we're creating a level playing field where everybody is allowed to come in and have an audience with the governor and ask questions freely.
Yeah. And just to add to that, talking about policies, for professionals, you can easily connect the dots once you see a trend. I ask myself, we're so close to Lagos, what have we benefited? And today, Governor Obaseki is very head-on the Gelegele port issue. And so we're seeing a link between some of the things that are happening between Edo State and Lagos, that in such a way that is going to be of critical benefit to us. I mean, by the time the export process in Lagos is on and Edo State is able to evacuate through Gelegele port, I mean, that becomes very heavy on the state, and that will be quite beneficial to what government is doing.
Okay. What's your publicity? What has it been like? And are you expecting a lot of ordinary people at this engagement?
Absolutely. We are expecting a lot of people. We're over a capacity of 2,500. We're also hoping that we've reached out to the ends of the state, and we hope to have a huge crowd there. A lot of young people who want to engage the governor. There's the enthusiasm to want to come and have that discussion. The venue is pretty big enough to be able to accommodate quite a lot of people. Now, we have a tag for a registration, a link that you can click on to be able to register. Doesn't,
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't
So
necessarily-
attendance is by registration.
No,
you just can't walk in.
Attendance is not by registration alone, but of course you need that data to also know if a young person says, I don't have a job, or I've just finished, we want to know at what level this person is. So that registration is not so much that it's what gets you in, even though it gets you in. Also, a data that the government is interested in terms of being able to use that to give them jobs and find opportunities for them even beyond where they are. So that's why. And then, of course, we're hoping that there will be opportunities for sharing. We want to have a hall that is Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi enabled, and that means that people can then have, as they're taking selfies with the governor or at the hall, they want to be able to post them on, and then we will get feed almost immediately.
So what is this hall?
Oh, 10 degrees. This is happening in 10 degrees event at Oregon. I'm sure opposite Unilever.
Billings Way.
Yeah, Billings Way. That's where it's taking place, and quite a lot of people are expected. It's going to be big.
How does one become part of it? How do Edo indigenes become part of this engagement? Because it seems to be very important.
So like Dr. Saleh rightly said, we created a link, a web link, where attendees can click on and then get themselves registered. Also, we're able to mine data, so to speak, okay? And then understand the demographics. Who are these people that want to? And we realized that we had planned for maybe 1,500 people, but the enthusiasm has even overwhelmed us. We have realized that, so many people really have questions to ask. So many people want to want their issues to be addressed, and so many people. So being part of this, how do you partake in this? Is simply by, if you're an adult person, you are welcome. Basically,
so you can actually attend even if you don't register online.
Yes, you can, because you can register at the location.
At the location.
Yes,
on
if you are not,
morning.
if you are not Wi-Fi enabled, you are not privileged to have access to. We'll register you upon arrival at the venue. All right, but we are giving everybody the opportunity to come and meet with the governor and address issues that concern them. All right, and then also advise government on issues that they believe that they need advice.
That's on the 19th of January 2020 at the 10 Degrees Event Center on Billings Way in Ikeja.
Yes.
So everybody is going to be there?
Yes, everybody who is of Edo extraction, resident in Lagos is invited.
Of Edo extraction?
Well, if you are if you are married to an Edo woman, you are welcome. You are our brother.
Oh, compulsory.
If you are married, if it's an association by marriage, you are welcome. Okay?
So my sister has to be there.
Yes, compulsory.
Okay, all right. Once again, 19th of January 2020 at the 10 Degrees Event Center, Uno Edo Renaissance will be hosting the governor of Edo State, Mr. Obaseki, and if you are of Edo extraction, if you are a friend of Edo, and you have questions to ask that will help develop Edo State, and you want to know anything about what Governor Obaseki has been doing, you want explanations and what he plans to do, that will be your chance to ask all your questions. 19th of January, 10 Degrees. You can also register online. Thank you very much for coming to tell us about this.
Thank you very much.
We wish you good luck with your governor next week.
Thank you.
And you're invited. Come and share tea with us. Who knows? Maybe you can become an Edo person by affiliation.
Who knows? Mr. Nuhu Yakubu, the Vice President, Uno Edo Renaissance, and Dr. Celio Kongu, General Secretary, Uno Edo Renaissance. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having us. Thank you very much.
So, Sunrise will be right back in just a moment. Do stay with us.